fishing friends, to another adventure out here on the big lake today. And we are doing the Lipless Crankbait Challenge. This is number 3 in the series. I've completed the jerkbait challenge, the crankbait challenge, which I just posted the other day, and now we're doing the Lipless Crankbait Challenge. It's a bit windy, so we may have to change up our strategy a bit, but sometimes the chop is good. You know, it'll get things moving. So I'm going to start with a Bill Lewis rattle trap in this Violet Flash. A little bit of Procure on the back end of that thing. Yep, I'm using everything stock on it. Chrome. Man, that's gonna look good. I just had a fish pop right there. The shad have been popping around. Look at that, wind's coming straight in. But if you look over there, a front's trying to make its way through. They usually stall out when they get to our part of the state because it's lower elevation, hot. But we're gonna see what we can catch. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate all the support. My name's Alan. I'm usually tinkering around with fishing videos. Sometimes I'll do other videos, but for the most part, fishing. All right, let's get it going. Got my Mojo 12 and 12. As usual, with a Bill Lewis rattle trap, they cast a country mile. Now with this, there's different techniques I can use. I can rip and crank, rip and crank, rip and crank, or I can just do the yo-yo, a nice, easy yo-yo. Nice and easy. I just heard a Mercury fire up behind me. I love that sound on those Mercuries. Oops. Am I in some cabbage? Yep. And these things usually come through cabbage. There we go. It was on the fall, and that's where I had the issues. Oh, look at that. Man, that looks good. Oh my gosh, guys, this thing is just sick. The other way to retrieve it is just a nice, easy retrieve. Nothing too crazy, just a nice, easy retrieve. So I like to change it up, you know. There's that boat that fired up that Mercury. I could hear it. The boat ramp's not too far away, but man, that thing was just... Yeah, I'm a big Bill Lewis guy, but I also like those Cotton Cordell super spots. And this summer I was just crushing fish. Oh yeah, that's the other one, guys, is I'll do a sweep sometimes. Up in Iowa on this rushing water. Throwing a rattle trap. It just couldn't leave it alone. Must be doing a fishing tournament out here. There's usually one every weekend. The lake's big enough to sustain that. Yeah, if you're not really a lipless crankbait thrower, try to get into it, man. It is fun. I got different brands with me today, but I'm starting off with this one. think I've got some super spots, some 6 cent stuff. I got that 6 cents gold reactor, I think is what it's called, or maybe not gold. Ooh, I thought I had a hit right there. Maybe not gold reactor, it's that copper color. Look at that guy's pulling up on that point. That's where I've caught fish before too. That's where you usually see me. It's just whack big bass over there, but I catch them here too. Flashes, anything with chrome in this line, guys, I really like. I also brought a Fire Tiger one in case it gets really choppy out here. I gotta be careful once I get near the rocks. I don't want it to drop down in there. Oh yeah, man, that Procure is still sitting there. So I'm hoping if one's following, he'll catch a whiff of it, you know? This is a bait, guys, that anybody can throw to learn how to fish with, and it gets overlooked because it's got the trebles and people freak out about it, but it's a good one to start with. And the thing is, you can find them on eBay, lots of them, that if you're worried about losing some, get some of those beater ones. They work too. The other place, if you make it to Bacon's in Shreveport, he sells them, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, 3 for $5 or something like that. So I loaded up on a bunch of them. I've tested a whole bunch of them. I'm telling you right now, the chromes are the best. The solid color ones, if it's like really cloudy, the black, the red, and of course the red. The world famous Rayburn red color, any of those reds work. The deeper it gets, the more it looks black. And if you got like some patterning on there to offset some colors, that works too. It's like a little swimming area over there. Alright guys, here's a couple of things that make me really successful when I'm bank fishing. As let's say here, it goes out and there's a drop off and then it hits deeper water. If somebody's in a boat and they're casting this way, like that guy just was, he's casting up into the riprap area of the bank and he's pulling it out. A lot of times it's just gonna go straight out. He may kiss the bottom a little bit, but his chances of catching fish go down a little bit. And how that works is, for me, when I'm casting out and I bring it in, I'm just right above the bottom all the way through and bringing it up that little drop off, and I just get whacked quite a bit doing that. Or if I cast laterally along the riprap and bring it through. I've been doing that now for a little bit, nothing But that strategy of bringing it up the incline works really well. I'll tell you a quick story. So I was on a point similar to this, some riprap, and there were two boats. They were spread out, but they were close enough they could see me, and they were throwing to the bank. And I mean, they were using good stuff, and I was doing my, you know, usual, throwing a crankbait. Then I think I had a jig I fired out there and was bringing that up. And I started catching fish. I caught fish before they got there. And the way it was almost like a highway, for the fish were coming in and out on a big lake. And so I didn't have to move so much, but they were casting in, and I was just pitching out there and bringing it up that drop off. And I was having a great time doing it. And so both of them were watching me, and I was just catching fish one right after another. One guy, he got sort of close. He said, "What are you using?" And at that time I was using sorry guys, I think I had a bite there. I was using one of my little MEP spinners with a trailer on it, just bringing it right up, just letting it right above the ground, the bottom there, and just bringing it up, slow cranking. I mean, really slow. I said I'm using a spinner, inline spinner, and then I said I've also caught them on a lipless and a crankbait. And so while they were there, I must have caught 5 fish, and they were just, they couldn't figure out the, oh my gosh, that one got hit, guys, and I didn't get him. Dang it. But just a whack. Anyway, so they were kind of befuddled, you know. The other guy, he was too, you know, I don't want to say cocky, but he just didn't want to, I don't know if he didn't want to bother me or whatever, but he didn't ask anything. He was just wondering what was going on. The other dude, I was trying to let him know that, you know, to go slow. So many people burn this stuff through, and there are times when you can just completely burn lures in, but there's a lot of times too where you just take your time with it. I do that with the MEPs all the time. Crankbaits and things like that. There's a fish jumped right out there. It's these gar. The gar love to come up to the surface and poke around. Still throwing this violet flash, guys. I just love this color. So we'll give this a little while, and then I've got some pretty cool different colors I'll mix in there. A lot of chrome, but I do have some other ones. Alright guys, check this out. See if I can get it in the sun there. This little XPS, Cabela's Bass Pro Shops, little lipless, looks like a little, look at that, and that looks epic. I've got them in like a chartreuse blackback and like a Rayburn red. But these little guys, I don't buy much from XPS. I'm not a big fan of their stuff, but these are very unique, and they had them on sale. And so I bought a whole bunch of them, and they're specific size and weight, and I have it written down. I can't think of what it is. I think it's the half. Maybe it's not it, but because they have other ones in the similar size, and they just don't do as well. So I went in there. This was like last time around Christmas, and I bought a whole bunch of them. It was that Black Friday into the holiday season, and I just, because I was whacking them at another spot on the red one, and I went back and bought more. I was like, man, I gotta get some. But I've caught fish here before, and they're gagging up little shad that look just like this. And this little guy twitches really nice. So hopefully we'll catch something on him. Yeah, you don't need too many extravagant colors, guys. Remember, colors are really designed to catch us. If you have like natural colors, things like that, because how they see things is completely different how we see them. Anything looks like a shad, a minnow, a little perch, like a yellow perch from up north, or even here, like a little bluegill color. Good little guy right there. All we need now is a fish, and I know they don't see these at all. Yeah, it's going to be a windy day. We're supposed to have that cool front. You can see the clouds on the horizon. Up in the Panhandle, the temperature dropped like 20 degrees. The thing is stalled out by Wichita Falls. Hopefully it'll push through. You see the moon up there? Just had our full moon. Yeah, things should be fighting. Probably why in that last video when I was doing the crankbait video, I caught 2 white bass on that balsa lipless. Check out that guy ripping through. I saw a dude out here with one of those electric engine boat motors. I was kind of curious about it. I'm not a big EV person, but if it knocks down on a lot of the wacky maintenance that guys complain about on the boats, maybe it's a good option. All right, boys, we move spots. Man, I hit that other point for a long time. This one's a little bit shallower. We've got like a flat here, and it goes way out. This is where a lot of the shad come in to spawn in the springtime. Super sketchy with these rocks, but I think it'll be all right. Back when the water was up into these trees and stuff, this is a place to fish right along the riprap here. But I've caught them in here too, you know. It doesn't look like it gets very deep, but man, they cruise through here looking for fish. So I'm using a Silverado Sparkle, I think is what this one is called. Actually, you know what, this one may be a one spot, one of those cheapo Walmart specials. Look at that thing. Man, that looks good. Just like the shad that are around here. So it goes out and then it drops off pretty good. See here, we're not in that wind tunnel, so the water's not all churned up. It actually looks pretty good. But man, once you get out on that around this point. Sheesh. Well, you guys saw what it looked like when the wind was blowing. Some guys crappie fishing way out there. Alright guys, I switched over to Rapala Rattling Wrap, which I've never really thrown much. This one's in a chrome blue. Looks good down there. I just had 2 bass come right here in front of me. They were decent sized, and I pitched it out ahead of them and brought it in. They stopped and looked. There's that fish right there. Oh, those are white bass moving through too. But anyway, so he, those two, they kind of took a look at it and then they kept swimming. I know they didn't see me. I'm standing on a rock here on this, so I can get a good vantage point. There you can see the cold front's gonna start to move through. It's already in the panhandle. Yeah, it start getting deep pretty quick here. It looks shallow here, but man, it drops off pretty good. Anyway, let me know in the comments what kind of challenges you've been doing, or any challenges coming up that you want to do or try, or anything you want me to try. I was thinking about doing a MEPS one, then like oversized straight tail worms, Senkos, jigs. So I've got some pretty good ideas, some bladed jigs. God, that looks just absolutely sick. You can cast at a country mile. Not as good as a old school rattle trap or a rattle trap, but guys, I was testing out one of those hammer traps. I only had one and I lost it. I got snagged. That was back at the other spot. I mean, that thing is heavy, but it looks so good in the water. It was the chrome blue splatterback. I put a little bit of red on the underbelly with a Sharpie. But for the most part, I stick to the old school rattle trap style. Man, those are, if you watch Bass After Dark from a couple episodes ago, they were doing a lipless crankbait thing. Just the amount of knowledge shared there was just incredible. Some real hammers with lipless stuff. I do pretty decent with it, although today I haven't had anything. One of the biggest fish I ever had, one got hooked here on one of the points over there. I got it on video. He just hammered it. Did one jump and he was off. It was just an absolute pig. I'm guessing almost double digits. As big as that thing was. All right, guys, we're hooked up. No! And he threw it. There's a bunch of fish going through right there. The Rapala's got good hooks on there. He just got it. He just threw it. I know everyone's like, oh, the hookup ratios. Hey, that's part of the challenge. I don't mind it at all. Nope, I'm not swapping hooks. What comes with it, comes with it. Dang. All right, so we know we're here. I keep seeing them swimming by like the smaller. White bass. So this is like a little highway coming through here. The other thing I keep seeing are these, what you would think is a turtle, kind of a round, something moving slow in the rocks. We don't have crabs here, so I don't know what it is. It's got to be a little turtle. Thing is, see that fish that I just lost? I didn't set the hook good enough. I let him set it. And I should have just, as Andrew Hayes says from Tackle Talk, I should have given him the beans. Or as Frank Scalish would say, loaded to the cork. I just gave it a quick whap. Check out that guy. He's got a Mercury on there. Ooh. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Guys, a mega strike and the whole thing. And I'm tying a double uni, so I know it's not that. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. Crazy. I gotta go more with the chrome blue back. See, there goes one of those funny little things crawling on the rocks right there. I don't get it, guys. It was just an instant snapola. It had to have been a catfish, I think, or a mega carp. Maybe it could have been a bass. I switched to a little sugar shad. They don't make them anymore. They've got a really nice shimmy as they go down. Real nice vibration, and then they got some good weight to cast with. They're pretty fun to throw. There goes another Mercury. No, that's a Yamaha right there. On that outboard, that engine, that outboard. Ooh, what was that? I was looking at the boat and I had a possible strike there. Yeah, look at that thing. Looks good in the water. It just darts around. The sugar shad. I should have gone back to another chrome blue black. There you can see the front getting closer. But I hadn't thrown the sugar shad yet, so I figured I'd do it. Alright guys, we're on the fishing pier. Came over here because people cleared out. I'm throwing one of those 6 cent quakes. Kind of a cool color. Just doing the yo-yoing, but I'm also ripping it up. Yeah, that looks good. this thing. Alright, nothing on this fathead minnow. Gonna do one more bomb cast and we're gonna get out of here. There we go. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. Until next time, I will see you then. We may have to do a part 2 to this one, huh? Since I got skunked. Now get out there and get your lures wet.